Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time of being here, thank you so much for clicking this video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel before you leave today. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always supporting. In today's video, I just wanted to share a little bit of information as to why we moved from Toronto, Ontario to Airdrie, Alberta. In my last video over here, I shared that, we relocated from Toronto, Ontario to Airdrie, Alberta after living in Toronto for almost 6 years since I've been in Canada. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I've had, some of you asking like, why did I move? Now, the reason is the cost of living in Ontario compared to Alberta is quite high. So a lot of people are actually moving from Ontario to Alberta. Also, buying a home is something that's top on the list for many immigrants, many Canadian immigrants. And for us too, it was also a priority. At the time we bought this house, homes were not affordable in Ontario at all. In fact, that was a time where homes were selling for hundreds of thousands over asking. And we just knew that if we needed to be in the market, it would be wise for us to think of somewhere else. And this just came, like I said in my last video, it came. We already knew what the market was like, and so we did not sleep on the opportunity at all. Another reason was we wanted a better quality of life for our children. Not to say Ontario cannot give you a better quality of life. We just figured that if we had to move outside of Toronto to buy a home, then it wasn't going to be a bad idea to consider an overall better province. I know you might be surprised that how is it possible that Alberta is an overall better province than Ontario? Like, Ontario has Toronto, it has Ottawa, it has really nice side attractions, and it has beautiful high-rise buildings and all these big companies. But at the end of the day, what really makes a province better than another is the quality of life. And the lifestyle in Toronto is such that you need, it's high maintenance. You need a lot of money to be able to fund your lifestyle and to be able to afford rent and, do all the things that you want to do. So when I started learning about Alberta and when we realized that we're going to be moving here, I started to realize that childcare is cheaper because the government implemented a $10 a day policy last year. So now Kofi's daycare fee, that's my son. My son's daycare fee after subsidy is about $350 compared to over $600 that we paid after subsidy when he was going to daycare in Toronto. So there are other things that make Alberta an overall better place because you have many places where you can save money, including the sales tax that you pay on your goods and services here. In Ontario, sales tax is 15%, while here in Alberta, sales tax is only 5%. That's a huge savings over the year because, you have to pay taxes on everything that you buy. So it all adds up. And that's why, when you live here, your disposable income makes sense. You have a lot more money that you can save as opposed to, just throwing all this money in different places if you lived in another province. In a video here I made over a year ago, I talked about how you can decide on the best province to live in Canada. There's really no one size fits all type province like I said in that video, but I also shared points that can help you to how you can come to make that decision on the best province for you. For us, Ontario was good up to a certain point. It wasn't like it was bad, but it wasn't just serving us anymore. We just wanted more. And that's why we decided to, come this way. And so far, so good. I definitely can say this place is great for raising kids. It's great for families. It's great for, if you're looking for balance in your life, because that's really what I'm thriving for, what we're thriving for. We want some type of balance in our lives. We want our kids to grow up in a more level-headed environment, without all the hustling and bustling and all the chaos that comes with living in a big city. For me, I'm look, if you want to live in Toronto because you're young, you feel like it's great for your career, you have tons of opportunities in Toronto, yes. But my advice is do not feel like you need to go live in Toronto just because it's the thing. Because at the end of the day, if that's what you're after, you have to also think about how that impacts on your finances. Because at the end of the day, you really want to think about the future. What do you want out of life? If you say you're single, if you want to eventually be with someone and have kids and have a family, then you have to look at the bigger picture. So if you ask me, should I move to Ontario? Should I move to Alberta? My question is, where in particular do you want to go to? You have Ottawa, you have the GTA, you have London, you have Kitchener-Waterloo, you have Hamilton. Ontario is so big. So I would ask you, what is it about your situation in your life? What do you want out of your future? Like, what does your career look like? What does your lifestyle look like? For me to say, okay, maybe this place, should be on your list, right? But yeah, it's not an easy decision to make. I hear you if you're confused about that. But yeah, also Alberta has its specs. Living in Ontario has its specs. But I also have to say, I'm talking about Toronto because I lived in Toronto. There are other parts in Ontario that are very affordable, that the communities are, great for you to raise your children, so you can. But again, like I said, what are you looking for? If you wanted to buy a house, would you live in a brand new, fully detached house like I'm living in Ontario? I don't know. If you can, is it going to be under $1 million? I don't know. Can you afford over $1 million if the home is going to cost you over $1 million if you're in the market? I don't know. So these are questions that you should ask yourself. In Alberta right now, you can afford a fully detached house for $400,000, $500,000, depending on the size. You can get a townhome for under $400,000, brand new homes. So you have to think about these things. Okay, maybe I don't have the money right now to buy a resale. Do I want to buy into a new construction? Again, those are questions that only you can answer. I'll be talking a bit more on buying a home in Canada in another video. I don't want this video to be too long. So yeah, I'm just trying to help you see the big picture so that you make the best decision for yourself. Like I feel like we did. I feel like we did make the best decision for ourselves moving here to Alberta. If you want to save money, if you want a more calmer, peaceful life, I know the only thing I miss right now is access to stuff. Like the walk-in score in Toronto is like, I will give it a 95. Like you can literally walk anywhere to get any service. Like within a 10-15 minutes walk, you can get almost all the service that you need on a day-to-day basis. But here you have to drive. You definitely would have to drive. So these are things that you may have to consider if you're trying to make this decision on relocating across Canada. But I definitely have to say I was wrong when I lived in Toronto for thinking that there was no other place better than Toronto. I was wrong. There are definitely places that are more beautiful than Toronto without the high-rise buildings. Yeah, I don't miss Toronto so much. No, I miss my friends. Like I said, I miss access to stuff. So I miss access does not mean that I don't have access here. It's just more convenient in Toronto. So that's really what I miss. I'm very happy that I had the experience that I had in Toronto, living in Toronto. But I'm also very happy that I have the opportunity to have something else, if you get what I mean. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. Feel free to share this video with your loved ones. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And yeah, I will be seeing you in my next video. Until then,